All right, we are back. This is part three video on making the Scotch yoke infusion. We are pretty much almost done. We've got one more part to add to this before we fully automate the drawing. So kind of just taking a look at where we're at and what we've got going. Know right now, the last video we ended with the cam follower here. So we're going to need to put some other dowel pins in this part as well. So I'm going to turn off as far as turn the eyeball off on everything except the cam follower at the moment so I can concentrate on drawing this. Now, of course, there are a variety of different ways that you can go about doing some of this. So this is just kind of when I decide on how to do stuff like this, I kind of try to show you a variety of different ways so that you know how to go and do this. But we know, of course, that we could draw the dowel pin separately and bring this into the drawing. Again, I'm still kind of equating and using features on parts and that components that I've already got in here to help me develop and build this assembly out as we go. So we're going to start by creating a sketch. Again, I'm going to create the sketch on the inside here. So notice I'm selecting the inside plane with this, and we're going to again project the geometry here of this hole. So I'm just going to click on that. Now, notice it looks like I clicked on the this edge and projected it, but I didn't. Let's take a look over here at our sketch palette. So if you think about some of the different things here that we can kind of go, if I slice this, notice how slicing that allows me to see on the inside of that as well. So I'm going to keep that slice for just a second so you can kind of see how this is viewing in the actual software itself. So it's more or less kind of cut at that cutting plane line here. So let's kind of take a look at that now. I'll go ahead and leave the slice on for the sketch plane, and we're finished with the sketch. Again, that's all I need there. So I'm going to now extrude that. And in this case, we need to kind of come in here and click on this sketch, and now we're going to extrude this. Now in this case, I want this dowel pin to be 2 inches. So notice the negative direction. So we're going to go -2 on this. If I join this, it would basically be one part. So I want to make sure, again, we're going to create a new component with this and click OK. Now, this again is a dowel pin, so we want to make sure that we put a fillet or a chamfer on that for lead. So I'm going to select here and here, and we're going to go ahead and give this a 30 thousandths chamfer on that as well. Go ahead and click OK so that we have that taken care of. Now, at this point, I can go ahead and turn everything else back on. So just so you can kind of see this, notice we still haven't made the connection here. So this joint hasn't been done. So we could keep that here, and we could say, all right, do the joint as built, which would be an easier way to kind of do this. But I want to kind of show you a different method. So let's just kind of keep that out for right now. And we're going to do the actual joint. So I'm going to say I need an origin mode. So we're going to click here, and I'm going to come back in here. Notice, be careful how you select this, where you need to make this. So I want this to be on the inside of that. So, and we're going to, motion here is going to be rigid, so we can kind of preview the motion. There we go. So that's going to be a OK on that. So I've got that part in there. Now let's take a look here at what we're looking at. Notice we don't have alignment, so that's not in the hole and isn't going directly in that hole, so we can kind of zoom in. We can see how we're kind of misaligned with that based on our geometry that we've done. So I'm going to go ahead, and now that I've got this, I haven't made any rigid or any type of joint connection between my cam follower and this dowel pin yet either. So I'm going to go ahead and just let's move this and get this out of there altogether. So, and I'll show you here what I'm doing. Let's rename our component here. So I'm going to right click and hit rename. This is going to be a 1/4 by 2-inch dowel pin. And I also need to assign some material to that as well. So let's go ahead and right click physical material. So we already have the steel in here, so just kind of take a look at the steel that we were using. Dowel pin here with the 1020 steel, so let's go ahead and apply that to this material and close that out. So I've got that dowel pin. I need a second dowel pin going this way. So I'm just going to come right back over here, right click, copy, come over here into my white space, right click, paste. So it doesn't matter here whether you want to revert position or capture position. Either one will work. And just kind of bring and move this dowel pin separately. So now we've got the second dowel pin going on here. Let's go ahead and click OK. And I need to do it the same joint over here as well. So let's kind of spin and rotate this around so I can kind of see where I want to position that. So kind of get it into view where you can get access to this hole. So let's go ahead and we'll say another joint here. So, and I'm going to again, so let's move this over. I'm going to say I want this connected here with that. We'll place that. That should be a rigid joint as well. So let's keep that rigid and click OK. All right. Now let's kind of zoom around here and get what we're seeing. So even come into the top view, notice we've got all of this separate. So we've got a couple of other joints. We've got 2 more joints to make on this before we're done. So I'm going to take this dowel pin and we're going to connect that to the hole here as well to make sure that that is in alignment. So that's the first one. So let's go back here. Now it's going to be a joint. In this case, I'm going to kind of select on the middle of this. Now notice Fusion gives you several different things. If we got round parts, we can go right off of the center axis, and there are different ways where it will kind of auto snap in. So here we're going to go right here with the middle of this, and I'm going to put it, I can put it on the top or the bottom. It doesn't really matter how we're doing it in this case. So I'll go ahead and place that. Now, this is not going to be a rigid joint. So we want this to be a slider. So I'm going to make this a slider. You can see the motion and the movement here, and we can say, all right, we're good to go with that. Now let's take a look at what's going on here. Come back over here. Let's go to the top view, and you can see now that this is going to move up and down when we have this rotating. So let's kind of come in. That's the last thing that we need to do here in order to kind of animate this and create that joint. So now this is not going to be a joint like we've been using before. This is going to be a tangent relationship, and I'm going to say from component 1. So it's going to be the outside diameter of this dowel pin and this inside face of my cam follower. So let's make that connection. Click OK. Now at this point, now that it's kind of going from there, when we rotate this or move this, notice it should go up and down here. Now notice I'm kind of going out, and it's still kind of keeping that in position. We can set some limits, but for right now, for this model, this is pretty good with what we're doing and looking at here in this case. So let's animate this now. So let's go into our joints. We're going to animate the revolute joint. So let's right click, go to animate joint relationships. and now we have an animation kind of showing the motion and the movement. Now let's zoom in on here. Let's make sure that we've got clearance that it's not going to hit. So, and we just have enough clearance there with the dimensions that we've made. Notice if we made the cam follower any wider than what we did, it's going to be hitting up there. Now, also think about the stroke length here. So we've got a stroke that is based on the radius that we've done. So which our radius on this particular component was 5/8. So let me escape out of here to stop that. Our radius of the cam from center of the cam to the center of that dowel pin was 5/8. So that means the total stroke length here is going to be 5/8 times 2, or 1.25 inches. So we have 1.25 inch movement with this particular camshaft. All right, so now that we've got that totally animated and everything is looking pretty good with our overall part, I do want to kind of go with one other thing here, just kind of a personal preference. Let's go back into the cam follower. So I'm going to right click and go back to physical materials. So, all right, just to make sure. So we're going to go ahead and apply the cold formed aluminum to this. So close it out. And I just, a lot of times aluminum is anodized. So let's go back in again. And now let's kind of look at our appearance, bring an appearance on here. Kind of go through and we just want some type of a color here. So let's go back to our we've got different things going on here with our metal. So aluminum, I'm just going to say anodized blue glossy. We'll go ahead and apply that to that as well, just to give it a little color. um, there we go. That looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. So as we kind of get out of this, so we're locking in place here. So and close that out and do a final save here. So and we're good. So that is the Scotch Yoke. So go ahead, try it out. It's a fun little build to design here in Fusion.